Hey everyone, I wanted to do an update. It's been a little bit, so um, where to start? I stopped after my failed frozen transfer. I stopped my meds about 3 weeks ago now. I went off of the hormone medication, so my body's been really kind of struggling to adjust to that. Like I was on such high doses of estrogen and progesterone, and then all of a sudden I just stopped cold turkey. So my sleeping's been really affected. I've been having a lot of restless arms and legs and all of that. So I feel like it must have something to do with that. So I'm hoping that gets better. But my doctor, my PGD doctor called a few days ago and kind of went over the plan and talked about it. But before I get into that, I just want to share that I did get a call today from the PGD nurse, and they found out that the embryo that we lost was a girl. I had a really strong feeling from before we even did this transfer. I just kept telling Dave it was a girl. I knew it was a girl, and I don't know why. It was just this really strong feeling I had that it was a girl. And I mean, I guess I had a 50% chance of being right, but I was not surprised when she said today that it was a girl. So, I mean, it isn't going to change anything. It's going to be tough whether it was a girl or a boy. I mean, we had Liam and Nate, we had Bria, we've had boys and girls. So I really have no preference either way when we have a living child. But, you know, just finding out and being able to put more, it just gives you more of a picture of what life would have been like with her if she could have stuck, you know, and it didn't end up being a chemical. So yeah, it's tough, but I'm glad that we had the testing done and that we have the opportunity to know, because with baby V, our very first loss, we'll never know if that baby was a boy or a girl, and I really always have wished that we did. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, just to let you know what the protocol is for our next frozen transfer and kind of the timeline, which I have already. I got my cycle back about 5 days, 4 or 5 days after stopping all my meds. So that was good. It happened quickly, which meant it kind of sped everything up. So I will be starting Superfact, the nasal spray, on Wednesday. So that's like 6 days from now. I'll be starting again. And that's 5 times a day. So that's just annoying more than anything. It doesn't really have any side effects, but I'll be starting that again. So in less than a week, I'm starting Superfact, which is on March 15th. I thought it should be the 16th, but she said 15th. So I might have to clarify that with her. But as of now, it's March 15th. And then if all goes well, I will start estrogen on March 29th. So 2 weeks later. And what they're going to do this time differently is start me at a higher dose of estrase, the max. So what I was on for the last frozen transfer was 4 milligrams in the morning orally and 4 milligrams at night. So that's 2 pills morning, 2 pills in the night at night, orally. But when they increased my dose because my lining wasn't thick enough, they added in 2 milligrams vaginally morning and 2 milligrams at night as well. So I was actually taking the full dose of 12 milligrams every day. And so they want to start me with that highest dose right away from day one of starting it, which I'm not super excited about. I was hoping to just take them orally and not have to go on that high of dose. I really had crappy side effects from it. It was, super exhaustion, kind of like first trimester exhaustion, but you know, but you're not pregnant yet, so it's a little harder to deal with it when you know it's not necessarily for a good cause. I mean, it is, hopefully, you hope it is, but so anyways, start the high dose estrogen right away, and he's hoping that that will increase my lining, or make sure that my lining is good on 2 weeks later when I have the ultrasound. So let's hope that by increasing that it works. I've also added into my diet. The only thing I'm doing differently this time is I've added in L-arginine, which is a amino acid that actually increases blood flow. It helps with like muscle mass and gaining muscle and stuff as well, but it's I've read some good studies about it. It increases blood flow in your body. So there's a few studies done for increasing uterine lining when taken at high doses. And because it's an amino acid, it's something your body needs, and it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to take that as well. But other than that, I'm not taking anything different. So hopefully that helps. That would take us to, just looking at my calendar, April 11th, Dave's birthday. That's when the ultrasound will probably be on that day or around that day. It's kind of bittersweet, as that's the day on Dave's birthday 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2014, that's the day we had an appointment after our ultrasound to find out that Liam was sick, and basically that it didn't look good. So ultrasounds on his birthday are a little scary for us, but we're gonna have to get over it and hope that this one leads to something good and that my lining is good. So that'll be then. And if my lining is good, and my clinic's cutoff is 7 millimeters, last cycle, when I went for the ultrasound 2 weeks after starting esterase, it was just under 4 millimeters. So it was way, not even close. So it left me on it another week, and then it got to 6.5 and another week, and it got to 7, and then they waited another 5 days to do transfer. So I barely made it to 7 last time. But my doctor told me when I was talking to him a few days ago that 7 is where they like to see it, but he kind of calls borderline being 6, but I really want to see my lining like 8 or higher. So I'm really just hoping that starting with this higher dose of estrogen gets my lining good this time, and that we're not fighting with that. That'll just be one less thing to worry about and wonder if that was the reason or all of that, even though it probably had nothing to do with it. So if that's good on the 11th, then transfer will be somewhere between April 18th and 21st, depending. So it's right after Easter. Easter's on the 16th, 17th, that weekend. So it'll be that somewhere in that week, Tuesday to Friday, will be transfer if all goes well. If it doesn't and my lining's not thick enough, it'll probably be just pushed another week again until my lining's good. So that's the plan going forward. The other thing we're going to do differently this time is I did have, through my family doctor, not through my IVF clinic, they don't test estrogen or progesterone levels at all, whereas I know a lot of clinics do. My clinic doesn't. They don't think that it's important, I guess, because I was on supplements. So whatever. Not gonna go there. They're the experts, I guess. But my family doctor let me test, and she did do progesterone and estrogen, and my progesterone was really quite low. It was only 16.9, and it should have been like more like 30 at least, especially because I was on progesterone suppositories, 2 pills 3 times a day vaginally. So they were so I was on constantly on progesterone, and my level should have been higher and it wasn't. So we've decided this round to switch to needles for progesterone, and they are intramuscular, so they are not pleasant, they're giant, and they, from everything I read, they're quite painful and just not fun at all. But I don't want to risk having too low progesterone, and if this is going to help, then I will do it. So that's the other change we're going to make. Whether the progesterone level had anything to do with the last one not working or not, we'll never know. Basically, he thinks it was probably something at a deeper cellular level with the embryo, because all you can really test are the main 23 chromosomes, right? And then the gene for short-rib polydactyly that we carry. But each chromosome still has so many levels of DNA to them that have to be right. So there can still be an embryo that looks really good, has the right number of chromosomes, but has something else wrong at a deeper level that it just doesn't take. Could have been low progesterone. It could have been that my estrogen was too high because it was very high. He's not concerned, but I was a little concerned, right? It could have been my lining. It could have been, who knows, right? We're never gonna know. So I'm trying not to think of all the what ifs, because there's no way we're ever gonna know. So all we can do is try a few new things, you know, start at higher dose, switch the progesterone, try something new, try to get that number up higher, and just hope that this next one is it. I guess the other thing I should mention, since I know lots of you have asked me about this before, is, are we transferring 1 or 2? So we have 3 embryos left. And because I had placenta accreta after I delivered Bria, it puts me at a lot higher risk of having it again. And if I get placenta accreta, then, and have a healthy pregnancy, I have about an 80% chance of losing my uterus and having it end in a hysterectomy. It's a very, very high. Like, that's basically all they will do is just take out your uterus, take out the baby, take out your uterus, and then you're done. So it's such a hard decision, because they're trying to tell me if I get accreta, it could put the baby at risk too. So if there's 2 of them and I have accreta, I could end up losing the babies and I could die, right? So there's just so much more risk with accreta and the possibility of getting it, that my doctors really want me to stick with just putting in 1. However, Dr. Wong did mention, or did tell me this time, that it was up to Dave and I if he would still recommend 1, as does my high risk doctor that will be looking after me. He really, really only wants us to do 1. But ultimately, this time he did leave it up to us if we wanted to do 1 or 2, whereas last time with our first transfer, he said, nope, I will only do 1. I've talked to lots of other doctors and they said only 1. This time it's our choice. So we talked about it, and I don't think we're going to change our mind, but we've decided to go ahead and just do 1 for this transfer, and that will leave us with 2. So if this one takes or doesn't take, probably the next time we will put the last 2 in, regardless. So if this one works and we have a healthy baby, we'll probably put the last 2 in. The chances of having twins is still only like 30%, and they are our week or 2 embryos that would be left. So I think that's the plan. And same thing, if it doesn't work this time, we will definitely be putting both in, because we want to have a better chance of just getting 1. So I guess I'm tempted to put in 2 this time, just because I know that's going to make our chances of getting 1 better somewhat. But then you read some research that says it actually doesn't make your chances better. It can actually harm your chances. So then I worry about, well, what if conditions aren't quite right and there's a silly reason that it doesn't take, like my lining or my progesterone or something, and then we lose 2 good embryos just because of something like that. So I'm struggling with that. And then it's the whole accreta thing. Well, if I get accreta and this time and lose my uterus, it's not going to matter how many embryos I have left, because I won't be able to carry them. And I've had the surrogate question a lot from people as well, and we're not even going to go there. We're not ready for that. I have been pregnant 4 times. I can carry a baby. That's not the issue. The issue is the genetics, and having a healthy baby. So surrogacy is not necessary for us, at least at this point. So yeah, I think that's it. That's the plan. We're sticking with 1 unless something crazy changes our mind, and I'm tempted. I've definitely been thinking just put in 2, but then if they don't work, we're only left with 1, and that scares me. So I think we're gonna try this one more time, try 1, and kind of go from there and hope for the best. You know, hope that this time things turn out differently. But it's almost time to start prepping and getting ready again, and I'm not sure how ready I am. It's been kind of nice being off of all the meds. I'm definitely not looking forward to starting estrogen again, and then the progesterone, IM intramuscular needles are definitely kind of scaring me a little bit. I think Dave will probably be giving those to me, but you know, I'll do whatever I have to do, and I am happy we're making a few changes, even though they're minor. At least I'll feel like, you know, we're doing what we can. So Sorry for the long update. I just wanted to let everyone know what was going on because I've had lots of people asking. So I will definitely update again when I have more information, probably in a few weeks, you know, when I start estrus or something, and keep you in the loop with what's going on. So thanks so much for following and for all of your support, and we'll chat soon. Bye guys.